Hi everybody, it's Denise from Crone Posse. And so today's video is going to be in relation to the 5 things that I no longer want to spend my money on. And so I've seen a few of these videos and I just kept thinking, God, I know exactly what my 5 things would be. And so I started writing them down, and there were a lot more actually that I wanted to add, but I wanted to keep the video short. And so the 5 things I would no longer spend my precious dollars on would be, starting with number 5, waxing body parts. And so this is something that I wasted money on for years and years, having my legs waxed, full legs, and my bikini and thereabouts. And I had my upper lip waxed. I had my eyebrows shaped with wax. And so one time I even was talked into having part of my face waxed because of peach fuzz. And it was the most painful thing I've even had done to my body. And so I've had my eyelids done a couple of years ago. And so even the pain I had where they slice your eyelids off, that was less by far than having my bikini wax done. Sometimes the woman was so thorough. She was from Russia. And sometimes she'd take skin off in very sensitive areas, and it would take many days to heal. And so then sometimes you would have ingrowns or pimples developing in areas that you didn't want to have happen. So once I stopped doing that, it took a few years for hair to actually come back, but now I just use an epilator on my legs. I can't handle it in any other areas of my body because it can be painful, but I don't have much hair on my legs anymore. And so a lot of times that's the whole thing. That's another great thing about getting older, is that sometimes your hair, at least in my case, started to turn white. So I have a lot of peach fuzz. And so I ended up just investing in a good quality epilator. And so I use that on my legs, and then it has a shaver head as well with a very close shave. And it's a high-end shaver, Braun, Braun. And so the product is very good quality. So I've had it 5 years already, and I love it. I'll charge it, and you charge it very sporadically. But like I said, I don't have a huge, heavy hair growth the way that I used to as a younger woman. But after years of waxing, like I said, the hair came back much more sporadically. So it's very easy to manage. Even a couple times a month is probably, what I need to do. Sometimes I'll just shave it because the hair is very fine. So it's a little difficult to epilate it out, and it's light colored. So sometimes it's hard to see the ingrown. So I recommend that if you can. Don't use the epilator on your face, however, or eyebrows or above your lip. That, for me, the pain level was just way too much. Even having my eyebrows microbladed on was less painful by far than having a bikini wax done. And I had years and years of those. So I would recommend, for me, because I'm so light-skinned, my hair on my eyebrows is turning gray. I definitely will get, as soon as I can afford it, I'll have another one of those microblading sessions. For me, it was worth it. So the other thing I stopped doing, number 4, is manicures. I just keep my nails short now. I don't paint my nails at all. I just keep them when I remember. Probably not that good, but I do keep them filed and trimmed down and moisturized. Always moisturize. When you put moisturizer on your hand, because my skin is so ashy and so I'm so light skinned, it tends to be on the dry side. So, and I've had eczema develop on the outside of my hand and on the tops of my feet because they would get too dry. So I just keep them moisturized in advance, so I don't need to worry about chronic skin conditions coming back. So that goes for any ethnicity of lighter skinned people. I have very little melanin, but even people with some melanin still require sunscreen and still require a lot of moisturizing, so you don't develop skin conditions like eczema, seborrhea, or psoriasis, because the lack of melanin and the dryness, our skin tends to get drier, particularly as we get older. So I've dispensed with manicures. I still get a pedicure from time to time, but same thing. I just try to keep my feet. I'll, pedify them, I guess, by filing them and moisturizing them, and then I'll keep the toenails moisturized and try to get in there at least once a month to get a pedicure. So the third thing that I've dispensed with, at least in a brick and mortar way, and I hesitate to say this because I don't want to sound like a total moron, but books. I don't think the only books I've bought, in the past 20 years have been cookbooks. And so I will free cycle any of the ones that I don't use or haven't used. And so sometimes I can remember the recipes, so I don't need to keep the physical cookbook nearby. And so I'll just give them away to people, or we have a lot of little libraries around here that people have in front of their house, so I can go drop off some of those. But you can get real good quality cookbooks on Amazon these days for very inexpensive, and beautiful photographs. And I admit I do love a good food porn, and I will invest in those. But usually they get passed on. Some of them I've kept, and I use them over and over again, and they get dirty from food and get marked up because I use the recipes so often. And so that's good signs. I do still read a lot, but I've had a Kindle over the years. And so the other thing about my hands is that because of working on computers and in finance for so many years, I have some kind of basic carpal tunnel developing, maybe it's from scrolling, but weird because I'm left-handed, but on my right hand. And so I get a lot of pain in this area. And so to hold a book, like when I was reading Keith Richards' biography, it was so dense and so thick. The book was very heavy, and it was hard to hold it on my lap and hold it open, because sometimes I'll just lay down and look at a book like this as I'm reading. And so that just wasn't working. So I try to download a bunch of books on Kindle, but now my Kindle is so old, and it probably needs to be replaced. So maybe that's something that's going to happen soon. I've just been using the app, but the pages are so short and you're turning the page all the time. So I don't know. I try to read more books, and I do enjoy reading and have enjoyed reading all my life, but I just don't want to keep having to dispense with them and try to find a place to donate them or to get rid of them, when I decide there's books I'm not going to read again or I'm not interested in keeping. So number 2, I heard somebody else mention this today, and I thought this is also true of me, is that I have a capsule wardrobe now, and I only want to wear comfortable clothes, like clothes that I wore in the 80s that were 2 or 3 sizes larger, oversized, I guess you would say, and square shapes, because they're comfortable. I'm short and short-waisted and full-busted, so sometimes these can be somewhat flattering on me, and I don't need to let everybody show my figure. Sometimes I'll wear a skirt or a pencil skirt with bare legs and a more oversized top, and it's comfortable for me. But I really don't need to have everything that's, brand new or skin tight, or I don't need to be poured into clothes. And I mean, I almost just put shapewear in with this category too, but I do have a few pieces of shapewear, and I do like to wear them, underneath clothes as a layer in the winter. Sometimes it's great for back support if you're seated, but since I haven't had a full-time job in over a year, it's smooth sailing with the shapewear. So I don't need to impress anybody. I mean, I do try to work out every day between 30 and 60 minutes. So I'm trying to hold it together, and I'm anticipating, shrinking down, another size or half a size again, as I've already been going down size-wise since I stopped working. So the final thing I've dispensed with is completely obvious, I know, as you're looking at me. Obviously, it's hair color. And so you probably don't know, but I started coloring my hair as soon as I was 18. I was in the Rocky Horror Picture Show cast, and so I was perming my hair and dyeing my hair with henna at first, and then later professional hair color and box hair color. So most of the time I was in a salon, as I had many, many friends who worked in salons and were stylists. So I would model for color, and haircut and perms. And so most of the time I'd wore my hair long, but I always colored my hair. My natural hair color, I was probably more of a dirty blonde, or darkened over the years. And so, probably in the last 15 years or so, I would have a version of partial highlights, trying to blend in the gray as it was coming in. And so probably sometime in 2016, maybe a little bit before, I started trying to grow my hair in. And so sometimes I would get to about here, then I would chicken out and I'd go and get my hair colored. And I mean, I don't want to lie. I mean, I'm 63 now, and I actually like how it looks. It's only the texture of my hair is a bit coarse. So I'm still trying to figure out products to use in my hair with a flat iron or a hot comb for years as well. And I remember having my hair pressed straight by my best friend in high school. And she asked me, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I'd had home permanence for years. And so I never really fully realized my hair was kind of ringlety and curly. And so I tried to explore having a curly girl hairstyle, but I couldn't figure out the mixture of products to get anything other than the first day would look fantastic, but then the second day, my curls would just brush out, and then I would just have, greasy, flat, strands. So my hair's kind of fine, but I have a lot of hair. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to share in the comments, other influencers to follow so I can get more information. I've found some great products, and there's a lot of, influencers and people that make them, craft people that make their own hair products, and they are brilliant. So I love those. Love me some hair products. So I do invest in those. So those are the 5 things that I've decided I will no longer waste money on. And I'm going to enjoy some good quality things. So in the next video, I will let you know the 5 things that I do like to spend money on. So have a wonderful evening tonight, folks. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also share with friends, share with people, kindred spirits who might like some of my content and my point of view. And so if you're feeling stressed today because of the election, go ahead and check out my other videos that are relaxation videos, where it's 2-minute walks through the forest with no talking, no human sounds. Relaxing, perfect, flowing, waterfall, water, and footsteps, quiet on the trail. So everyone, have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for checking out my content. Mwah! Love to you all. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.